Hello children, in this video we are going to study the chapter health and hygiene. Okay, so let us study what is health first. Health may be defined as a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being of an individual. Okay, so if the individual is physically fit, mentally fit and socially fit, then that individual will be called as healthy individual. There are two aspects of health, one is physical health and one is mental health. When we talk about physical health, that means the person will be having a healthy body, and when we talk about the mental health, that means the person is mentally fine. Okay, the person is able to take correct decisions. Okay, so that is called as mental health. Now if the person is not healthy, that means that person is having some disease. So let us see what is a disease. Okay, disease is a state in which our body or part of it is in unhealthy condition and is unable to function properly. So if our body is not able to function properly or a part of our body is not able to function properly, then we will be called to be in the state of disease. Understanding? So that is regarding health and disease. The disease may occur because of two different reasons. The first reason is because if the germs enter into your body, you will be having the disease, or sometimes the disease is due to lack of one or more nutrients in your diet. Okay, so if you are not having the nutrients, all the nutrients properly, then also you will be facing the problem of disease. Basically, the disease is classified into two types, communicable disease and non-communicable disease. Let us discuss about communicable disease. Diseases that can spread from one person to another are called as communicable diseases. Okay, such diseases are caused by microorganisms, right? So disease causing microorganisms are called as germs, right? So the diseases which are caused by germs are generally the communicable diseases. Now how does the disease get transferred from one person to another? Okay, एक जन से दूसरे जन को कैसे हो जाता है that disease? So there are different modes of transmission that we are going to discuss over here. First one is droplet infection. When you sneeze or when you cough, okay, the germs are coming out from your mouth or from your nose along with the mucus or saliva droplets. Okay, so when you sneeze, the mucus droplets come out from the nose. When you cough, the saliva droplets come out from your mouth. Okay, and in this droplet you will be having the germs present. Okay, so these germs may infect the other healthy people also. They will go into the air and they will be infecting the other healthy people. Okay, yes, the examples of droplet infection disease are common cold and flu, right? Next mode of infection is the contaminated food and water. If your food or your water is contaminated means it contains the germs, then and you have that particular food, okay, then you will be having the disease, right? How does the food gets contaminated? When you touch it with dirty hands, or if you keep the food uncovered, okay, then the germs will go into the food, right? Water gets contaminated when the water gets mixed with the sewage water. Sewage means gutter water. Okay, so that way the water will be getting contaminated. Food gets contaminated because of the flies also. Okay, flies sit on in dirty places, they will carry the germs, and then when they sit on our food also gets contaminated, right? So cholera, typhoid, dysentery, these are the diseases which are caused due to contaminated food and water. Next one is direct contact. Okay, when I say direct contact, that means the person will come in direct contact with the diseased person. Okay, so people having conjunctivitis or chicken pox or measles, if you touch some such people, or if you touch the belongings of such people, then you will get these particular diseases. Okay, so that is called as direct contact transmission, right? And the last one is the vector. One more mode of transmission is the vector. Okay, vectors are the organisms which will be carrying the germs in their body and they will be transferring the germs to a healthy person, like the Anopheles or the Aedes mosquito. Okay, example, Anopheles mosquito, it will be carrying the germs of the malaria in its body, and when it bites a healthy person, that healthy person will also get the disease of malaria, right? Okay. Okay children, you need to go through this table that is there on page number 91, table 7.1. okay, in this table you are having the diseases caused by various organisms like the virus, bacteria, protozoans, fungus, worms, etc. okay, so the diseases are mentioned, how the disease is transferred from one person to another, that is mentioned, which body part is affected, that is mentioned, and the symptoms of the disease are also mentioned. So you need to go through this table, it is very important table. Okay, I'll just give you one example over here. For example, viral disease, common cold, it is spread through droplet infection and the affected body part is the nasal cavity. Okay, what are the symptoms? The symptoms are headache, fever, okay, mucus discharge through the nose. Okay, so such things are mentioned in this particular table 7.1. you need to go through this table in detail. Okay, any one question will be asked from this particular table, right? Next, you need to understand the healthy practices for personal hygiene. Okay, so how can you keep your personal hygiene? How can you keep yourself clean and healthy? Okay, see, if you are not if you are not maintaining personal hygiene, then germs will enter into your body and you will be having the disease. Okay, so it is essential for having good health, okay, and preventing the diseases, right? Our body becomes free from germs, okay, and we are not having any disease. Okay, so how you will take care of your body? First of all, taking care of your body. So to take care of your body, first of all, the most important thing is that you should clean your body. Okay, so have bath regularly, that way your body will be clean, and also you should be wearing clean clothes, right? Next is taking care of your teeth. How will you take care of your teeth? Brush your teeth twice a day, very simple. Okay, and you should be visiting the dentist every 6 months, right? Next is taking care of your eyes. Okay, do not read in dim light, do not spend long hours in front of the computer and television. Okay, use sunglasses when you go out in the sun, right? Visit the ophthalmologist or the eye specialist if you are having any eye problem, right? So that way you will be able to take care of your eyes. Next is taking care of your hair. Wash your hair regularly, you should be using oil regularly, okay, and combing of your hair is very important because it keeps your hair clean, right? Yes, other hygiene habits that you can follow for yourself is you should be wearing clean dry footwear, okay, use clean handkerchief, okay, when you are sneezing or coughing to avoid the spread of the droplet infection, okay, and cut your nails regularly. So your nails should be cut once at least in a week. Understanding? The second type of disease is the non-communicable disease. So diseases that do not spread from one person to another are called as non-communicable diseases. These diseases will be to the diseased person only, it will not go to the other healthy people from one person to the other person. Okay, non-communicable diseases are caused due to deficiency of nutrients. Deficiency means lack, or if you are not having all the nutrients in your body, then you will be having non-communicable disease. Or it is caused due to malfunctioning of the organ. Malfunctioning means not functioning properly. Okay, so if your organ is not functioning properly, suppose your heart is not functioning properly, then it will be called as malfunctioning of the organ. So because of these two reasons, you will be having the non-communicable diseases. Now, deficiency of nutrients, when we talk about, first of all you should know what are nutrients. So nutrients are chemical substances that provide nourishment to our body. For example, carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, all these are considered as nutrients. Okay, you should be having all the nutrients in your food. Okay, understanding? Unhealthy lifestyle leads to non-communicable disease. Very important point. Okay, so when you are having unhealthy lifestyle, that means there you are not carrying out the exercises. Okay, then you are having food which is not containing all the nutrients, you are having unhealthy food. In such cases you will be having the non-communicable diseases. Understanding? So to prevent yourself from any kind of non-communicable diseases, it is important that you should be having a balanced diet. When I say balanced diet, it means it will be containing all the nutrients in correct amount. I have already told you carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, these are the nutrients that are present in our food. So you should be having all the nutrients and in correct amount. Okay, then it will be called a balanced diet. Now if the nutrients are not taken properly in correct amount and all the nutrients are not present in your food, then you will be facing the problem of malnutrition. Okay, so lack of intake of nutrients over a period of time leads to malnutrition. Okay, now why this malnutrition is caused? It is caused because of the food that does not provide all the essential nutrients, like the junk food. Okay, so if you are having junk food, you will be having only the carbohydrates and you will be having the fats, but proteins, vitamins, minerals are not there in the junk food. Okay, so you should be not having junk food in large amount. Sometimes it is okay, but then you should be having your regular food which provides you with all the nutrients. Okay, now if a person is having malnutrition, then the person is facing the deficiency disease. So what is deficiency disease? A disease that is caused due to lack of nutrients is called a deficiency disease. Okay, so if some nutrients are absent in your body, then you will be having the deficiency disease. Okay, so malnutrition leads to deficiency disease. Understanding? Now there is this table 7.2 on page number 95. You have to go through this table. Okay, it is showing the deficiency disease and what is the deficiency caused due to, what are the symptoms, what are the recommended diet for that particular deficiency disease, that has been displayed in this table. Okay, the table, again it is important, you should be going through studying that table. Like you are going to study for table 7.1, same way you should be studying table 7.2 also, right? Okay, now we are going to study about metabolic diseases. So diseases caused in the body due to the malfunctioning of the organ or organ system, or due to imbalance of certain control and coordination mechanism, is called as metabolic disease. Okay, if your organs are not functioning properly, then you will be having metabolic disease. If your body if in your body the control and coordination mechanism is not proper, then also you will be having the metabolic disease. Okay, examples are diabetes, kidney and heart disorders. Okay, let us discuss diabetes in detail. Okay, yes, diabetes is a disease in which your pancreas do not produce correct amount of insulin, less amount of insulin is produced. Okay, because of which what happens is excess of glucose remains in your blood. Okay, so you will be showing symptoms like the excessive thirst, weight loss, fatigue, etc. Okay, now how you will overcome the disease of diabetes? So insulin shots are given to the person. Okay, insulin shots means insulin injections are given. See, your body is producing less amount of insulin. Okay, so your body should be provided with the correct amount of insulin that is given from outside, so that the glucose that is present in your body will be used up and you will not be facing the problem of the diabetes. Understanding? Yes. Then there is the last type of disease mentioned over here in your book is the hereditary disease. Okay, so such diseases that are inherited from the parents, that are that you get from the parents, such diseases are called as the hereditary diseases. Okay, genetic disease भी बोलते हैं इसको, right? Example is hemophilia. Hemophilia is a disease in which your blood does not clot. Okay, so if there is any cut or wound, okay, the blood will continuously come out of your body and it may lead to the death of the person. Understanding? So these are regarding the non-communicable diseases. Here we are going to talk about the healthy practices for community hygiene. First of all, what is community? So a group of people living together in a particular area is called as community. Okay, community hygiene should also be maintained. Why? Because dirty surroundings become the breeding grounds or breeding places for the germs. Germs will be growing in the dirty surroundings and then they will be spreading to your homes and you will be having the disease. So it is very important that you should be keeping your surrounding clean. Okay, drains should be covered, garbage should be disposed properly, dustbin should be correct. Okay, the non-biodegradable waste should be going into one particular dustbin and biodegradable into the other dustbin, right? And most important, awareness about health and hygiene should be there in the people. Okay, people should be told what is the importance of health, what is the importance of hygiene. Understanding? Yes. Coming to the proper garbage disposal. Okay, see, there are two type of waste, biodegradable and non-biodegradable. Biodegradable waste should be going into the green dustbin. Non-biodegradable waste should be going into the blue dustbin. Most important. Now, what is biodegradable waste? The biodegradable waste is the waste that can be broken down by the decomposers into simple form. Okay, like the fruit peels, rags, garden waste, etc. Right? Non-biodegradable waste cannot be broken down by the decomposers. Okay, and they are plastic, glass, paint. Okay, so if you put the plastic into the soil, it will remain as it is for even after 100 years. But if you put fruit peels, okay, it will vanish. Why it is vanishing? Because the decomposer is converting it into simple things that get mixed with the soil. Okay, then there are other category of waste which are called as hazardous waste, harmful waste, which are directly harmful to the people, like the e-waste, old computer parts, old mobiles. Okay, other electronic waste are called as e-waste. Hospital waste, syringes, bandages that come out from the hospitals. Okay, contaminated cotton that comes out from the hospital, such things will be called as hospital waste. Then there are toxic waste like the pesticides, insecticides, okay, which mix with the soil and then they will be polluting the water bodies, they will be polluting the soil. Okay, such waste are called as harmful waste or the hazardous waste, because they are directly hazardous to the people. Understanding? Yes. Now, how will you solve the problem of the solid waste? So there are two methods: landfills and incinerators. Landfills are shallow areas where you can dump the solid waste and then the solid waste can be burnt over there. But then what happens is, from the landfills, okay, large amount of harmful gases come out. Okay, and that will be contaminating the air, the surrounding area. Okay, incinerators are the places where you are burning the solid waste at very high temperature, but again here also the harmful gases are produced, like the carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, etc. gases are produced, which will be polluting the air and it will be harmful for our health. Okay, so what you should be doing? Okay, 3 R's are important: reduce, reuse, recycle. Okay, reduce the amount of waste. Okay, how you will be reducing? By reusing it and by recycling it. Right? Understanding? So that way you will be reducing the amount of solid waste. Right? The last point to discuss over here in this chapter is composting. Okay, so biodegradable waste can be converted into compost. Okay, what is compost? Compost is organic material which can be used as fertilizer for the plants. Right? Biodegradable waste can be converted into compost. Right? Now, how you will be converting the biodegradable waste into compost? I have already told you biodegradable waste can be converted into simple form by the decomposers. Okay, so same thing we are carrying out over here. First you collect all the biodegradable waste, then put it into a pit in layer. Okay, then cover it with the moist soil. Right? And then it will be kept for some month as it is. After some month you will find that this biodegradable waste, it is converted into manure, or you can say compost. Okay, organic material which can be used as a fertilizer for the plants. Now, along with the biodegradable waste, if you are adding earthworm, okay, into the pit and then covering it with the moist soil, okay, the manure or the compost that is produced in this way using the earthworm, it is called as vermicompost. Understanding? So that is regarding the composting. Okay children, I have given you one project on composting to write 2 to 3 pages related to vermicomposting. Okay, so you need to write 2 to 3 pages on vermicomposting. Fine children, with this we finish with the chapter of health and hygiene. Okay, bye.